Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Meta Market Weekly. I'm Justin along with Fernando. We're excited to be here. Hope everyone is having an awesome week. As the world continues to turn, there's lots of crazy stuff happening. We're living in really interesting times, and of course we have lots to talk about. I'm gonna say that I don't think anything is gonna get any duller from here. I think it's gonna get more interesting. Fernando, how are you?
Hey Justin, I'm doing great, and I agree with you. There's a lot going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
But before we jump in and talk about what's going on in the world, I just wanted to share with you guys really quick that Meta One reached an all-time high of $535 just about a week ago. So the price of Meta One, keeps creating new highs
Yeah.
and it's stable as ever. We don't see that volatility that we see with Bitcoin or Ethereum or other assets. And the reason why is because we're backed by gold, and that makes us very stable.
Yeah.
So we're doing very great on that area. And besides the price of Meta One, Justin and I wanted to share with you guys a few updates, on the biometric system and the Light Wallet. Justin, I don't know if you want to take it away from me and just kind of let our members know what's happening.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, everyone. We're working on deploying our new biometric system. I'm very excited about it. And it's just taken a little bit longer than we expected, but that's not a bad thing. We are making sure that this new feature is really bug free and stable because we want to have a really good experience for all of you members. So I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a great improvement. I think Fernando feels the same way. He's been testing it as well.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
yeah. I mean, I think I can create a wallet under a minute now, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, we're really excited about that. And then after that, the Light Wallet is going to be coming with a new updated version, which I think is cleaner, simpler. That's what we're trying to get to, simple, so that mass adoption is easier and easier for everyone. So very excited about the rest of this year, and just excited at where we're at. We've made such a lot of progress this year, and we're checking a lot of boxes and moving forward on a lot of different things. And like you just said, Fernando, I think one of the things that I'm biased, but one of the things that's most exciting for me is that we really are one of the most stable coins out there. The market has just been so volatile this year, and it's really cool to kind of see the juxtaposition between what we've built in Meta One and what the rest of the market is doing. So yeah, I'm super excited, and I hope everyone else is. And stay tuned for more updates.
Absolutely. And like Justin was saying, the new biometric system is incredible. One of the main issues I had with the biometric system is that, if there was not a lot of light around your camera,
Yeah.
you had a lot of issues logging into your wallet. But
Hmm.
now, I mean, I wouldn't say like go completely dark, but if there's not a lot of light, you can still get into the wallet, and it's a lot simpler, a lot quicker. So you can expect this new biometric system to come very soon. I think we're expecting for like next week, no?
Well, as soon as possible.
As soon as
I don't want
possible.
to say a
Okay.
date and then have it be different, but
Yeah, don't take my word for it.
yeah, it's gonna be as soon as possible. Hopefully next week. We're just really making sure. Fernando and his team have been testing it. Others have been testing it on our internal team and the developers, and we're just making sure the boxes are checked and we can catch as many bugs as humanly possible. With development, you never catch 100% of them. That's just the way they are. Bugs are kind of strange like that in a technical sense. I guess it's kind of like real bugs in real life, right? You could catch,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
all the cockroaches you can see in your house, but if there's some cockroaches that are, I don't know, hiding, underneath your cabinets in your kitchen, you're probably not going to know about them until they come out. So, but
absolutely.
we do everything we can to catch as many of these as possible so that the experience is as best as possible. So yeah, soon. I'm super excited about it, and everyone else is, and I think everyone will be really happy with it, of course. So
Absolutely. Anyways, this is gonna happen very soon. Just hold tight, and you're gonna see the new biometric system very soon.
Yeah.
And back to our podcast. Before we start talking about all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, let me share a quick market analysis of what's going on right now. Let me get my Bitcoin chart. Awesome. So this is the weekly Bitcoin chart. And as you can see, it seems like, I drew this brush line like a month ago. It seems like it's playing out perfectly. Like I've said before, this seems like it's working as it's called a head and shoulders pattern. And I actually have a picture of it here. So it looks very similar. And this is actually a bearish reversal pattern. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's just speculation. Market analysis is an art, and sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. But the real art is to be right more than you're wrong.
If you're Jim
That's where
Cramer,
the
you get it wrong
real
all the time.
yeah, that's where the real art happens. So it looks here like it looks very similar. I mean, Justin, I don't know. What's your take? I mean, let's take a real quick look at this, and then let's look at the Bitcoin pattern. It looks very similar.
Yeah,
So
I think it's extremely similar.
yeah, so I mean, in my opinion, I think this is what's happening, and not just because of the pattern. Let me bring this the RSI. So as I've said, the RSI is one of the most important indicators because it let us know um, when an asset is overbought or oversold. Right now, it's like in the mid range. 50 points is right in the middle. But always, before we see a continuation of the market rally, it's always better to see the RSI at a lower time frame, like we've seen before in the past, in the previous cycle. Or let me show you even, I think the RSI is a better indicator in the stock market. So for example, here on the S&P 500. So always once the RSI gets to an over bought level, it goes down and then it goes up again. And we've seen it all the time, like if we go to the year 2000, the year 2008, year 2020, it's always, once we're hitting a peak point, then it goes down. And then when it starts to go up again, it's there's a correction, then it goes up and down. So the RSI, like, in my opinion, is one of the best indicators, if not the best indicator, to know when is a good time to consider thinking about making a move. Because it's not just about looking at the RSI. You have to take a look at other factors. But the RSI is a great indicator to let you know if it's time to consider about worrying with your position in your asset. So if we see that the market is overbought, it's time to consider. I'm not telling you to sell because I mean the market's not gonna spoon feed you the answer like, oh, there you go, make money. Life doesn't work that way, like anywhere. You gotta do your research, but you have to have your indicators. So once you see that the market is at oversold, then you gotta do some market analysis. You gotta see, the volume of the market. You gotta use Fibonacci retracement, and then you draw your own conclusions. At the end of the day, if you make money or you lose money, you're only responsible for yourself. The market's not to blame. So again, from what I can see right now, I definitely think that we're gonna see probably the market's gonna keep going on up a little bit. Is probably gonna crush with this shoulder somewhere around here at this level, and then it's gonna go down. I am very sure this is gonna happen because let's forget about the RSI and all the indicators. BlackRock, Fidelity, Valkyrie, all the major hedge funds in the planet are about to jump in to crypto and Bitcoin. And before they do, they're hedge funds. They know what they're doing. So they're just gonna wait for a good pullback from the market before they buy more Bitcoin, and then they're gonna release the ETF. So what they're doing is they're accumulating Bitcoin, cryptos, all the good stuff. And once the ETFs are approved, then they're going to push the market. And, it sounds like manipulation, but unfortunately, that's the way it is. The market is manipulated, not just in Bitcoin, but in the stock market everywhere. And I actually, now that I'm talking about it, I wanna share real quick an article that I was reading. So I don't know if you're familiar with what's happening right now with Sam Bank, the guy from FTX, and his used to be his girlfriend, Caroline Ellison. They were pretty much the CEO and the of FTX and Alameda.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going through court right now. There was a hearing yesterday, and in the hearing, Caroline, she declared that Sam was conspiring to keep Bitcoin under 20K. And he was doing so by, he was stealing, if you had an account on FTX, you had your Bitcoins in FTX. And, like we always say, not your private keys, not your coins. So these guys, they could use your funds to suppress the price of the market and keep the price of Bitcoin going down. And they were doing profits, trading futures, and I don't even know exactly how they were doing profits, but they were suppressing the price of Bitcoin, and not just Bitcoin. A report came out that they were also suppressing the price of Solana. So Alameda is a major shareholder of Solana. I think they own like 60 or 70% of all Solana, and they
Wow.
were, yeah, it's bad. It's very bad for Solana. I don't know if they're gonna recover. I think their blockchain is pretty cool. I think their technology is cool. Just that they got in bed with the wrong people, and it's gonna affect their credibility a lot. But they pushed the price of Solana and Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrency market, and it didn't really happen the way they were expecting. And you guys know the story. You know what happened. The exchange collapsed. These guys about to get 100 years of prison. It all went south very bad. But it was not just about Bitcoin. Carolyn also admitted that they were trying to get regulators to crack down on Binance. So there was a inside operation from FTX, and we all know that FTX was working closely with Gary Gensler.
Mhm.
So this is proof that Gary Gensler is corrupt and was doing all he could to bring Binance down, him and his team, and it didn't work out.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, there you go, guys. So pretty much the price of Bitcoin was being manipulated, and it will continue to be manipulated. Not just Bitcoin, Apple, Disney, Netflix, because that's the way it is. Unless we start using decentralized exchanges like
Yep.
Meta One. If you use a decentralized exchange like Meta One, it is not possible to manipulate the market because you don't have customer funds. You don't have your user funds, and you cannot do any manipulation because everything gets registered in the blockchain. And if it gets registered in the blockchain, if someone smart enough goes to the explorer and looks for the breadcrumbs, you're gonna be guilty 100%. And that's why I believe that in the next bull cycle, there's gonna be a massive migration from centralized exchanges to the centralized exchanges because
Mhm.
people are tired of corruption. And this is what happens when you have a centralized institution. Forget about cryptocurrency, forget about exchanges, forget about all of that. I'm talking about institutions. When you have a centralized institution like the government or the bank, what happens? You leave, all the delegation in hands of people that are capable of corruption. But if we forget about the government and we add governance through blockchain, it is impossible to be corrupt because everything is in the blockchain, and the blockchain is immutable, it's unhackable, and it's open and accessible to anyone in the planet. So it is time. I hope that this year, the 2024, it is time for everyone to embrace blockchain and get rid of the old system of centralization, manipulation, lying, because the only thing that's keeping us away from this new, better future is the acceptance of blockchain. Once we accept blockchain for everyday everything, for healthcare, for accounting, for banking, for voting, for everything. Once we all agree and decide that it is time to embrace blockchain, the old system dies and a new world is created. So I hope that we're very close to that. I hope that all of our viewers are taking note and start asking the people that represent us that we are not going to participate in their system until we have blockchain technology implemented and we get rid of all the corruption. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Justin.
Oh yeah, man, of course. I mean, this is the reason why we're out here doing what we're doing. We need to create we need to create a system that is for the people, by the people, in that real sense, and not the craziness that everyone knows has gotten completely away from that concept, especially in the United States. So yeah, it's super important. I can't agree with you more. And this is why, we are here doing what we're doing at Meta One, why we're fighting every day, why we're, working to, accomplish something that's incredibly difficult. I was just having a conversation with somebody and I was saying, talking about the challenges that we have to overcome, and the fact that we're really working to create an alternative solution to the financial system that has existed, which really, in my opinion, is the crux of the slavery complex on this planet. It really is a debt slave system, and um, we need to restore honor to a system, like exactly what you're saying, where we're using technology that basically is just an anti-corruption mechanism, and is really in really very powerful. And I was just saying, like, look at so many of the people before us that have come before us that tried to change the system. I mean, right before John F. Kennedy was assassinated, he was actually working to put the United States back on the gold standard in terms
Yeah,
of the dollar. So, and there can go on and on. I mean, I think personally, I think that the Gaddafi in Egypt was doing the same thing before he was
yeah,
taken down. There's many other people. So you have to look at, the feats and where we're going and what we are working to do. And there's but finance is just one of those things, like you were just saying. Blockchain can be used for so many different things, and it literally can bring corruption. It literally can restore honor to a corrupt world in so many different ways. So what I would say is, I know that there are a lot of people, it may be a lot of people listening to this podcast, that blockchain technology is intimidating for you, et cetera, et cetera. But I would just welcome you to just do a little research about it. If you want to learn more, let us know what you would like us to talk about. We're happy to talk about things and simplify things for you. I think it's a technology that everyone can understand if you just basically have it explained to you the right way. And it's incredibly powerful, and it's not going anywhere. It's just, we're just getting warmed up.
absolutely.
So yeah, man, I mean, it's these things continue to happen over and over again, and we have to embrace these mechanisms, and this technology, so that we can stop it from happening, because that's I believe that's why it was created. I mean, some people think it was created for NFTs and all this craziness, and I really don't think so. I don't think it was created for poop coin. I think it was created so that we could eliminate corruption on this planet, and it's a huge
Yeah,
gift to humanity, and we just have to start utilizing it. So yeah, for sure.
absolutely. The blockchain is, a ledger created to store information. And, if people want to do NFTs or whatever, they're welcome to do it. But
Yeah,
like you said, that's not the purpose of blockchain. The purpose of blockchain is for serious matters.
yeah. Well,
And
I mean, if you look at NFTs now, they're like all worth nothing, and the whole thing
yeah,
is crashed because we're in a bear market. So it's like, and
and
personally, to me, actually, NFT technology is actually really incredible too, and actually can have a serious impact, because I really look at NFT technology as the future of a way to hold digital title of actual real physical
yeah,
things. There's actually some houses that have actually been sold on NFTs in Florida, And this is the way that they can be used. Right now, people have tried to use them for silly things like creating 8-bit digital photo of a banana and selling it for $500,000. But there is a powerful technology behind it because for everyone who doesn't understand what an NFT is, it's a non-fungible token. Bitcoin or Meta One. If I hold one Meta One and Fernando holds one Meta One, we can swap those Meta Ones, and it's one for one. So those are fungible tokens. There's not a unique property to each individual token. With an NFT, it's the opposite. There's unique properties. So you can actually basically code that NFT to be anything you want. So the actual unique properties of the NFT could be a title to a house, which is
Yeah.
really cool if you think about it, because it could make peer-to-peer transactions of real assets very simple, secure, and easy. And it's just at this point in time, there's very few people out there who have even started to hit the tip of the iceberg when it comes to that kind of tech. It's just been used for very silly things. So I'm not
Yeah.
knocking NFT technology. I'm just knocking the way it's been used lately.
No,
So
I don't think that the problem is the NFT technology, because the NFT technology is there and it's good. The
yeah,
problem is that people, they're trying to sell you a picture of a monkey for $1 million. So
yeah,
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, maybe if you sold the NFTs for like $1, and if you were reasonable, I mean, people would be fine. I would be fine going to the McDonald's and be like, hey, if I buy an NFT for $1, and you get a 50% discount on your fries every time you show the NFT and stuff, like, that's use case and it sounds reasonable. The problem is that, you know, speculated bubbles are created once you're trying to find the actual value, between something and its real value. So
yes,
since it's a new technology, people, they hear NFT, it's non-fungible tokens. They don't really understand what it is because it
yeah,
sounds, fancy, and they put a lot of money into it.
yeah.
And it's turning it into a mockery. It's becoming something that you laugh at, because a monkey picture for $1 million, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you could have bought a mansion. Well, maybe not a mansion in the US anymore, but in Mexico you can buy a mansion for $1 million.
Right, right,
So
right. And it's not even like an HD beautiful picture of a realistic
it's
monkey.
horrible.
8-bit. It's 8-bit. It's like,
Yeah.
and for everyone who doesn't understand what 8-bit is, just think about the original Super Mario on Nintendo. That's the kind of graphics that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, there are NFT artists that have created literally pictures of a banana at 8-bit that have sold for over $1 million. It's nuts. It's nuts.
It's
That's not
crazy.
really happening anymore though, because we're in a bear market, which I think is
Yeah.
kind of good. But I also think that NFT technology is going in a way. There's some people out there who are using it for things that are getting towards its more serious nature. Like I know, for example, American Airlines, they now have an NFT rewards program. So your NFT is actually your AA Advantage account, and you can actually use that to get rewards points easier, et cetera, et cetera. I think that we're going more in the direction of, and these are all prerequisites. We'll
Yeah.
get to that point where it's being used, but I just think it could really eliminate so many things. Like how long a process is to get a title for a house and all of these different things. I mean, imagine
Oh,
if
I
you
know, man.
if you have it
Oh,
all on NFTs. I mean, this stuff could be done like literally within 30 seconds, and it would just like
yeah.
revolutionize a lot of
Yeah.
those
Yeah. Yeah.
tasks. So, anyways.
I agree. I actually, the other day I had a very interesting interaction with a guy here in Tulum.
Hmm.
A guy was offering me, he was telling me that if I wanted to get into real estate that pays dividends, and I'm like,
Okay.
okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
how does that work? And he was selling, like, at first I was a little bit sketchy, but then he explained to me, and it sounded reasonable. I mean, I guess it all depends on how the law interacts with the system. But
Uh-huh.
pretty much what they were saying is that, so they were trying to build a villa in Tulum, like a $3 million villa. And that villa was divided on 1,000 NFTs. So each NFT is like $3,000.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so they're dividing the ownership of a villa times 1,000. And let's say that you buy 100 NFTs and you pay $300,000 for them. So you own 10% of the villa, and they use the villa like a hotel. They
Uh-huh.
rent it. So
Uh-huh.
every time the villa gets rented, they use the blockchain and all that. And the moment money comes in, there's a smart contract, and it pays dividends to the NFT holders. So I mean, it's very interesting because everything's on the blockchain. So customer that goes to the villa and he pays $10,000 for the stay. He pays I don't know $1,000 for the meals, $2,000 for whatever. Let's say he pays I don't know $20,000 for a week vacation on the villa with his family. So those $20,000 get divided times the 1,000 NFTs that there are, and every owner gets a fair share of the value you're receiving. So you don't have to wait till the end of the month, for accounting to get all the numbers, or the end of the year. You don't need to have anyone, like an accountant there to see what's going on. You just program a smart contract and you get dividends every day or week or whatever. I don't know, but it's very interesting. That's a very interesting way that people are using NFTs these days. I had this interaction with this fellow, like it was like 3 or 4 months ago. So I believe that the industry is still a little bit new. There's still more to see. I believe that like for me, in order to jump into such venture, I would need to see what the laws are that protect you. That it do they actually have the ownership of the villa? Do they have the what do you call, like when you own a house? You have like the scriptures or whatever. You just have to make sure that everything is legal and that there's no shady businesses. But if everything's legal and everything's okay, there's a huge potential for real estate. Let's say that I don't know, Elon Musk wants to create a city here at the south of Playa del Carmen in Tulum, and the city is valued at $1 billion. So you get money from all of your investors through the blockchain. You get the money in one day because people from Japan, from India, from China, from the US, from Mexico, they can all pitch in. You get all the money in a day or two. You build a community and you're getting dividends. Once the $1 billion community is built, you're getting dividends every day or week or month. And there's no need for accounting. There's no need for other interaction. Everything's in the blockchain. Everything's in smart contracts. Everything's immutable, public, unhackable. And we're just moving towards a more transparent way of doing business. And that's the power of blockchain. I mean, I don't know how close we are to that future from happening, but it's already knocking at our doors. That's very interesting.
I think it's amazing. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's revolutionary, and I think it's not only revolutionary in this kind of thing of, oh well, investing in real estate, but it's also revolutionary for us in terms of building places or communities for the people, by the people. I mean, just think about it. If you have a community of people, let's say, I don't know, group of, I don't know, let's say a group of 2,500 people or 2,500 families that want to build a community, and they want to do it in a way where it's sustainable and everything, and free, and all of these different things. Just imagine what you could do, like you're saying, like if that community wanted to crowdfund that, and they've decided to use blockchain to do it. Like you said, they could raise the money in a couple of days. They could build pretty fast. They could then build the community and have businesses, or places where people could rent business locations or business space that could be generating profits, which goes back into the specific fund for and it can also revolutionize the way that if we can get blockchain into fundamental things like voting, so that the
Yeah.
governmental structures of the world, not just in the United States but in all over the world, become more transparent, and eradicate the corruption from it. Imagine what we can do with this kind of technology to actually do public projects that are for the people. I mean, you could put all of this, you could create a blockchain and smart contracts for every government project there is, and there would be no way for somebody to stick their hand in the pot and steal the money,
Yeah.
because we would know there's this amount of money, this is going to here, this is going to there. It's just it's incredible. It's incredible. And it's exactly like you said, like that's where we need to get to. That's absolutely what we need to get to.
Yeah, and you said something very interesting. You said about voting. So it's, I mean, it's, I don't get how, the mail ballots and, the whole system that they use. They
Yeah.
say that they don't want to use the internet because you can get hacked, but, they want to use mailing the votings. And just trust me, bro. Like we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it fine, So okay, so no to internet, but yes to mailing votes, but no to blockchain technology. So that's super shady. Like why? I mean, why would we trust them after all that we're seeing right now with the inflation, with COVID, all this stuff? It's like the equivalent of me saying like when they were forcing all the people to take the vaccines, like, hey, why don't you mail me the vaccine and trust me? I'm gonna put it. Trust me, like you trust me, right? It's the same. It's the equivalent of that. So by allowing this to happen, it's mailing the boats and all that. We're paying. We're accomplice. We're accomplice to the fraud. We're accomplice to the system of corruption because we're allowing this to happen. And if we don't stand up and we don't say, hey, we demand blockchain technology right now for the voting, or I don't know, the elections will not take place. We, the American people, the people of the world, we will not tolerate presidential elections until we implement blockchain technology. And there's no way around it because they cannot say like, oh well, blockchain technology costs a lot or whatever. You can just fork. You can go to GitHub and you fork a blockchain that's already working. You fork a protocol, and it's gonna it's gonna make the difference. There's really no excuse for not using blockchain technology for voting in the year 2024. There is no excuse for that. And if they try to come up with an excuse, it's because they want to keep doing the corruption. So I
Oh,
hope.
100%, man. Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. 100%. And that's why it's important for everybody that's listening to this and everyone around the world. I really believe, not only the United States, get educated about blockchain, understand how powerful it is, because it could change it, and that's the reason why they don't want it. That's the reason exactly why,
Exactly.
because they want to continue to do this mumbo jumbo crap that they do, sealing of elections, all this different stuff. And you think, and for everyone who thinks it just happens in the United States, that's totally wrong. It happens all over the world every single day in elections, and we can literally change that. I mean, imagine a blockchain voting system, one person, one vote. You could even use NFTs as the way to the voting authentication for each individual person that couldn't get altered. We'd have results instantaneously. I mean, you literally could open up voting. The other thing too is one of the biggest problems with the system in the United States. I don't know if you know this, Fernando, but um, election day is not a national holiday in the United States. So most people are still working, and a lot of the
Mm.
times, if you're a single mother that has 3 jobs and 2 kids, you probably don't have time to get to the polls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So imagine if we're using blockchain, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in your pajamas, you could be in your office, you could be whatever. You could take, your 15 minutes on your lunch break and vote and be done. So it would revolutionize everything. There would be no waiting forever. There'd be no of this, that's the crazy thing with the mail-in ballots in the United States. Is I think that with early voting, you can start mailing in your ballots like a month early before the elections, and
It's
so there wouldn't
ridiculous.
be any of that. It'd be vote on that day. The polls open at midnight, they close at midnight, and when and at 12:01, you'd have you'd have your results. I mean, you could have your results tabulating on an explorer in real time. So it's nuts. I just think it's nuts, and
It's ridiculous.
it
And
needs, it needs to
like I
happen.
was saying, it's the year 2024. If it was
Yeah,
2017 or 2020, I would understand the technology is ready. I mean, there's no excuse for not doing this on the blockchain. Something as important as voting for the president of the United States or the president of whichever country you reside in, the
yep,
technology is ready for making elections. So if we do not implement it, that's because the people in control do not advocate freedom. They do not want to lose power, and they want to keep doing corruption. Because at
yeah,
the end of the day, I always say this: blockchain technology is, the replacement of trust with code. Once we implement blockchain technology everywhere, we no longer have to trust anyone because we have a technology that replaces the need to trust with code, math, and precision. So we're
yep.
there.
I
Awesome.
agree. I agree.
And and in other news, yeah, so back to the topic with the economy and the US dollar. So I wanted to share to you guys really quick that so far in the 19 days of between October and the previous month, the debt of the American dollar has raised $1.2 billion per hour,
Hmm.
per hour. So that means that they're printing, I don't know, like $500 billion per month. So this is an incredible amount of money that, so here it is, $500 billion in just the past 19 days. And the total US debt now sits at $33.5 trillion.
Nice.
So these numbers are exaggerated. I mean, the American is not, this is something that the people need to understand, because sometimes when I'm talking about finance with people here in my country, they don't understand. They're like, well, if the US is printing the US dollars, how does it affect us? So all the currencies in the planet, they're linked to the US dollar. You are only allowed to print what the US dollar allows you to be on the market. So if the and also not just the money, our economies, our products, our raw materials depend also on the economy of the United States. So, for example, Mexico, I think I made like an example like this the other day. Mexico brings granola bars and Hershey's and all this stuff from the U.S. So, if the price of the granola bar or the Hershey chocolate bar or whatever increases in the U.S., why? Because of inflation. Why is inflation happening? Because we're printing a lot of dollars. So if the price of that Hershey bar goes up in the US, guess what? It's also going to go up in Mexico. Why? Because it's more expensive in the US. So it's going to be more expensive everywhere else in the world. And the US is a major economy in the world. The US economy is like the father of the world's economy. So it's not just Hershey bars, it's Ford vehicles, Xbox, Dell computers, medicine, raw materials, everything. So what happens in the US affects directly and indirectly what goes in Mexico, in Canada, in Europe, in Africa, everywhere. So we're all in this psyop together. It's not just the US people that are suffering. We're all suffering together. And this is not acceptable. If we take a look at the CPI, the numbers are starting to go up again. And this is the highest they've ever been. And they're not going to go down because they keep printing money. And those numbers are not even close to real. I mean, they're saying that there was an increase of 8% in the year 2022. Go to the supermarket and tell me if 8% is from eggs being $4 a dozen to $12 a dozen, or from a gallon of gasoline being $2 to right now being $8. that's not 8%. We're talking about over 100% increase in the prices of everything. And this is how they're pricing us out of existence in order to make us reliable from the government. And I mean, that's not just the way it's supposed to be, because everything in this planet is free. Oil is free, it comes from the dirt. Gold is free, it comes from the dirt. Water is free, energy is free, everything is free. They're just trying to put our neck, on the news, and they're just trying to price us out of existence and make us reliable on the government. And it's eventually it's going to fall apart, like it always has in the past. This is a map that I have from all the major reserve currencies since 2050, and we can see that it's a cycle. It's always a cycle to see what's the reserve currency of the world. First, we have the Florentine florin. Then we have the Venetican ducat. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Then we had the Portuguese real, the Spanish real, the Dutch gulden, the French livre, the sterling pound, the US dollar, and it's always a cycle of about 100 years. I believe right now the US dollar is coming to the end, and there's going to be a new currency. I don't know if it's going to be Bitcoin. I don't know if it's going to be Meta One. I don't know which one's gonna happen, but the cycle is repeating as it always had for the past centuries. And sorry about that. I'm getting a phone call. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, so the cycle is repeating, and who knows what's gonna happen, but definitely something's gonna happen, because the economy is not stable at all right now. We have people earning, I don't know, a minimum wage of $1,000, and the rent is $1,200. This is not stable. You don't have money to pay for rent. You don't have money to pay for food. You don't have money to pay for electricity, and the economy is going to collapse. The US is already $33 trillion in debt. It's going to keep increasing. The value of the US currency is going to lose all of its value. And a very similar case to what happened with the Luna and the Luna classic scenario is going to happen to the economy. And I don't know what's going to happen, but we got to be ready, because so far we're just kicking the can. We were about to default the US debt. I believe it was in early 2023. They decided not to default the debt. They kicked the can for a little more years. They decided to add, I think it was like 20 or 30 more $trillion. And that money is gonna end by, I don't know, 2025, 2026. And when that happens, you're gonna have to make another decision, to default the debt or create or keep printing money. And by the time that happens, I'm pretty sure that there's no more space to default the debt. I'm sorry, to print more money one more time, because once this happens in the year 2026, the US dollar is going to have absolutely no value. So there's going to be a major crash. There's a major crash coming. It did not happen right now this year because we defaulted on the debt, but it's going to happen eventually. I think it's going to happen around the year 2025 or year 2026 if we do not fix the economy by then, because we cannot keep printing money, because everything is becoming more expensive, and we print money, and the income that we get for selling burgers, for working at a car dealership, for being a real estate agent does not increase. So at one point, people are just gonna be like, hey, why should I keep working if I can still not afford rent? I cannot afford my food. I cannot afford electricity. So people are just gonna stop working, and the economy is gonna collapse. And we are very, 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 very close for that to happen. So I mean, we gotta fix this. Meta One is working with a solution. We're trying to go back to the gold standard. This situation was created in 1971 when President Nixon moved the US dollar from the gold standard and started printing money out of thin air. So hopefully, things are gonna get better very soon, because if not, the economy is going to collapse. And like it always has. Like in this picture, you can see always the reserve currency dies eventually. And when that happens, there's a major depression. And it's right around the corner. So we gotta be ready. We need to find solutions. We need to start looking to implement blockchain technology, because that the sooner we implement blockchain technology and we start looking for solutions, the sooner we're gonna get out of this mess that is right around the corner. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, Justin.
100%, man. Yeah, I mean, we all know that fiat currency is really backed by nothing, and we all know how this giant experiment in using fiat currency over the past, how many a few hundred years has worked out. It hasn't worked out very well. So I think it's time to go back to something that's actually backed by something. That's what we're doing. And there's other people out there that are doing other things. As we've talked about many times, there's going to need to be many different currencies for different applications of human life. But yeah, it's time to change it, because for sure, we're in a very unprecedented time right now, where it's unbelievable. It's amazing how expensive things are. I mean, I just got my most expensive water bill of all time, $350 for 1 month for just
Wow.
water for my house, which is just, it's mind blowing. So, it's crazy, but I think the important part is that if we are not individually doing something, we always talk about that saying that I stole from Andy Frisella, that personal excellence is the best rebellion. Be the best version of yourself, but then also use your voice and advocate. Because if we're not advocating, if we're not opting out of these things, if we're not standing up, then we are complicit. And
Yeah,
I know that I definitely don't want to be complicit. So, yeah, for sure.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I just want to drive it home, sharing this article really quick. So it seems now that Nancy Pelosi, which is one of the main House speakers, speakers of the White House, I'm sorry, she was ordered to vacate the office, and I don't really know exactly why this happened, but I can tell you that she's been one of the most corrupt speakers of the White House. We can see here some of her numbers. So she has been serving 36 years in politics with an annual salary of $1,933 per year, and she managed to increase her net worth to $290 million through stock trading. So pretty much this is corruption at its finest. Nancy Pelosi has been doing a lot of insider trading, and this is corruption. I mean, if you're a regular guy, I believe the other day on a podcast we were sharing that a guy at Coinbase did a little bit of insider trading, and he got like 5 to 10 years of prison, and he only made like, I don't know, it was like $500,000. Nancy Pelosi has been doing some insider trading and increased her net worth to $290 million. So that's a massive number for insider trading. And she the other day she came out and said something like, oh, I don't think being a politician and stock trading and having family members stock trading, I don't think it should be illegal. Well, we know why she feels this way, because she made a fortune doing insider trading, and she's not even a trader. She's I mean, I bet to you that if we ask her what a Fibonacci retracement is, or the RSI or whatever, I mean, she's probably going to have absolutely no idea. She has no idea how to read a chart, because she's not a trader. She's a politician who's doing insider trading to make money. So, this is disgusting behavior from someone who works at the White House, and she's getting kicked out of the White House now. I don't know if this is exactly the reason why it is happening. I don't know if it's related to her insider trading, or she did something wrong. But I'm very happy that this is happening, and I do believe that all the people that are working for office and Congress and all that should not be able to do stock trading, because that leaves them open for insider trading and corruption. And
That's
that's
for sure, man. Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest. You know, it surprises me when a politician in the United States is actually truthful and honest. That's what surprises me these days. This normal stuff, it's like this is the normal thing that happens.
yeah, normal behavior.
Normal behavior, unfortunately, but we're going to change that. Blockchain technology can help change it, and we can all help change it by standing up and doing the right thing. So yeah, let's keep on unifying together and pushing for this technology to be in place in the world. You know, it's really important, and we need to make sure that it succeeds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for you guys today, unless Justin, I don't know if you wanted to share anything else.
Well, we're coming up on the hour here, so I had a couple of things, but I think I'll save them for next time. Some interesting things
Sure.
with Bitcoin and Julian Assange, and then some stuff that's happening in Brazil, which I thought was quite interesting. But we'll talk about that next week. Yeah, I appreciate everybody watching the show. You know, like, share, subscribe, all those fun things. That really helps us out. And additionally, if you have any feedback about the show, or if you want us to talk about a specific topic, please drop a comment and we are happy to oblige. And Fernando, any final words?
That's all. Just like you said, if you have any comments, drop them, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and until next one.
Yeah, take care, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a great day.